Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to my channel. It is another day of May I Scraplift You, which is the super fun series started by my friend Crystal over at Pineapple Papers. Now today we are scrapbooking Vicky Lopez Duran, and she has this cut file that she used, and I just happen to have that cut file. So I decided that this was going to be the base of my layout. Now I am not going pink in mine, I am going blue. So let's see what I can do.
No pink.
Now, if you heard that little bit of no pink, that was Lana putting her 2 cents in the video intro. And then I hit stop recording and she thought I had already hit the button. So we listened to it, guys, and you can hear her. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear her in the final editing, but that is Lana saying that we're doing no pink. Now, I am just using my Close to My Heart ink in Lagoon, and I'm using my Pink and Main little blender brush here, and I'm blending right over top of the chipboard. This is a white chipboard from Bella Boulevard, and I just decided that it would be easier and less messy for me if I just did it right in the chipboard itself. So I do get some decent color down on there. And then I decide I'm going to emboss over it. Like, I want more texture. I just don't want the plain old color. I want something fun. So I grab my Distress Embossing Glaze in Speckled Egg because I thought it would be a decent match. And that way, I mean, I could have just embossed it with clear, but I wanted something different. And this time it was that Distress Embossing Glaze. Now, the instructions on the embossing glaze says, apply Distress ink, oxide, or embossing ink to surface, sprinkle Distress Embossing Glaze over inked area to cover, top off excess powder, and put back in jar. Use heated craft tool or embossing tool to melt powder into a colorful translucent glaze. Allow to cool, do not overheat. So, I didn't use this on Distress. And I honestly have no idea if it's better to do it on Distress. I really don't know. And this is a weird jar of embossing powder because it's 0.49 ounces. Now, that's just weird to me because normally you would think you would get a ½ ounce jar, but you know, I feel like I'm gypped. I am gypped off of my 0.01 ounces to get me to a full ½ ounce embossing powder. I am legitimately like salty right now over this 0.01 ounces of embossing powder or embossing glaze, but you know what? I'll get over it. I'll probably forget about it by the time the video's finished being voiceovered, if I'm completely honest with you guys. So now I'm going to use my embossing tool, my heat gun, and I'm just going to heat it up. So it really the only thing it does is darken it. And since it's a translucent embossing powder, embossing glaze, whatever the term is, like I don't know if it actually did anything different than just clear embossing powder would have done. You know, I mean, like, did I do something that I didn't have to? Did I use a product that you're not even going to be able to notice? I don't know. But I do know I like the result, and I'm happy with the result, so we are going to go with that. Now, I'm over here trimming this night sky paper. Now, I have talked about this paper before. This is one of those staple papers from Paper House Productions that I have in my stash. I have a stack of these because it's great. And it's got fantastic, it's just fantastic, okay? It's got the trees on one side, which could be for outdoors, it could be for, you know, animals, it could be for all the things, Christmas, all the things, guys. But then you have the front of the paper, and it's this night sky, and you can use it for space, you know, all the things. I'm not even using it for space, I'm using it for Christmas. Like, it's just all the things, okay? I do take my distress tool from, not to be confused with distress line from Ranger, but a distressing tool from Close to My Heart, and I roughed up the edges of that night sky paper. and plopped it down on a 12 by 12 sheet of aqua, teal, turquoise, whatever your favorite descriptive word is for that color, cardstock. I did try looking for some vellum because I wanted to put vellum in that center circle, but I can't find my 12 by 12 vellum, and I know I have some because I just bought some. I bought it when I went to Michael's because their cheap 8.5 by 11 cardstock was on sale, and I bought the 12 by 12 vellum too, and I honestly have no idea where it is. To be fair, it took me 2 days to find the 8.5 by 11 cardstock because I had it in my laptop bag and no idea why it got there, but it was there, so I'm sure the vellum will pop up somewhere. So I grabbed a couple of shades of blue paper. This one on the top, this lighter blue, is from Cocoa Vanilla Studio Legendary. And this other one over here is from a 6x6 paper pad that came from the Target Dollar Spot. So I have these, and then I decide that my photo needs a solid mat around it. And I went ahead and went with a white photo mat because of the white cut file. So I wanted those two things to be similar. I am trimming down my white cardstock here to 4.5 by 6.5. That way I have a 1/4 inch mat all the way around my photo. I've got a nice solid thick mat. Now sometimes I don't do that thick of a mat. Sometimes I do a thinner one, but I felt like this one could stand up to it. I am going to offset mat these guys so they are not going to be completely stacked up on top of each other, all squared off. Not going for that look here whatsoever. So I just figure out where I want them to go and then adhere them down with my ATG. So, sorry for the, I was just standing there holding that stuff. But Lana and I, we started watching Hoarders, and we were on this first episode. No idea if it's the first season, first episode ever. We're watching it on Netflix. I'm looking at Lana, she doesn't know either. And the kind of stuff we're like, whoa. I think, yeah, we just found out something terrible. I'm not going to say it just because, I don't know, YouTube rules and stuff about what your video can be flagged for and all that. And I'm like, I'm a scrapbooking, I hate hearing people do that when they're talking about scrapbooking, where they are scrapbooking, and I just did it. Oh my word. So anyway, I'm a scrapbooking channel, obviously. And I don't need to be talking about that kind of stuff that can get me in trouble. Don't need to do that. So I'm taking this scrap sheet of paper and I am trimming it down so that it fits a tag. And it's not even going to be a full tag. And I'm okay that it has a map print on it because I'm going to be covering up the actual map. And the only thing you're going to see is the blue tag part. But then I decide this is not enough layers. I need more. Vicky has more layers on hers. And then I completely forgot about this little floral circle thing that I was going to pop in there. It's still right here. As a matter of fact, it's in my hand right now. I don't even use it. So I'll probably have to use this on another layout real soon. Figure out what I want to do with it and make that happen. So I pop out the family word, and surprisingly, it pops out super easy. And I do have to admit, I was thinking I'm getting a little bit nervous because I'm embossing on top of this, and what happens if the embossing, melted embossing powder acts like glue and glues the word inside of the chipboard. I was like, please don't let this happen, because then I'm going to have to get out an X-Acto knife and cut it out. And I was thinking all these worst case scenarios in my head, and boom, it just popped right on out of there. So thank you that it did that. I pop on this ampersand paper, and only because the colors look decent to me together. I've got these varying shades of blue, all the way from this light all the way to this darkest night sky shade of blue. So I'm feeling like it's all good, and there is no pink. No pink. So I'm figuring out where I want the family word to go. Now, my original idea was to have this say family PJ fun, because still, yes, still, the kids are all grown now. They still all get Christmas Eve pajamas. Now, Christmas Eve pajamas has morphed into Christopher and I give each other Christmas Eve pajamas. I'm not exactly sure when it happened. I feel like it happened while we were here in California, because we did used to give each other a Christmas Eve present. Just something little and fun so that we could all open something on Christmas Eve. But the pajamas, they're a recent development. And I love me a good pajama, you guys. I'm serious. I love pajamas. I have 2 drawers in my dresser that are full of pajamas. And the only thing that sucks about that, and it does suck, is they're all winter pajamas. And guys, it's currently 90 plus degrees out here, and it's only going to get hotter. So, yeah, I can't be wearing these heavy pajamas. I need summer pajamas. I need these, like, summer pajamas in a bad way. Yeah. So I had to pop a hole in my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive because some maniac left the lid off of it overnight. And I mean, I don't know who that maniac could be, but yeah, some maniac left the lid off overnight. So the glue dried up. And that happens. If you leave the lid off too long, the glue's going to dry up. Normally I don't have those problems. Sometimes when the glue is at the very end, I get that problem. But I feel like that happens with all glues. So yeah. So I have this little tag, this little die cut tag that says today. And it is a khaki colored tag. And I don't really want it to be khaki colored. So I'm going to take my alabaster ink from Brutus Monroe and just ink that bad boy up so that it is whitish. It's not like a stark white. Now I could have, again, I chose to go a different route, but I could have added white embossing powder on top of this and it would have been white. But instead, I decided to play around with the triple thick embossing dip. So it is a super thick embossing powder. Brutus Monroe's embossing powders are very thin, and this one is super thick. Thick enough that, oh shoot, I'm playing with it now and I just spilled it all over myself. Shoot. Good thing a trash can is right next to me because I can just brush it right off my legs into the trash can. So it's so thick that my heat gun basically blows the embossing powder right off the tag. So I am embossing it over and over again over top my trash can now because so much of the thick stuff is falling off. Then I finally get the bright idea to heat emboss from the back side, and the embossing, the thick embossing stuff doesn't fall off anymore, which is fantastic because, you know, we don't need to do that. And then don't play with your embossing powder while you're doing voiceovers because you spill it all over your lap. So probably going to have to order another one. Not that I dumped that much in my lap, but it's a great excuse to get some more, right? Right. So I am going to use this little bow that I tied just with some embroidery thread and glue it to the top of the today tag. And then I'm going to overlap that here on the photo and on some of the layers. Now, I don't. Where did that come from? I'm saying scrapbooking and don't. Like, I don't know what in the world is wrong with my mouth today. I don't know if it's my brain or my mouth, but one of them isn't working correctly. So I'm just going to trace around the circle. I'm going to trim it down, and then I'm going to go ahead and back this circle with it because I want you to be able to see the word today. Which I don't really know why, but when I was doing it, it was very, very important that you could read the word today clearly. Really no idea why it was that important. I guess because I wanted to have the 25th on this page somewhere, and that does make it on there, spoiler alert. But, oh, Sorry, I just found, if you watched my layout share, if you watched my layout share of my 100 sketchy videos, I just found the missing letter that fell off the word, so I'm very excited about that. So I do use my Nouveau Deluxe adhesive on this tag right here, and it does squirt out because I used a lot of glue. Probably didn't need to use that much glue, but I did use it. The good thing about Nouveau is that it dries clear, and I am using my shirt. Shameful, but I'm using my shirt to rub off some of the excess glue. So yes, this is my pajama shirt, and yes, it has Nouveau Deluxe adhesive on it now. Yeah. It's just the way it's going to be, people. So I decided to put the 25th up here. So I put the 25 in the same font of PJ Fun. I went to my stash, found 2 little teeny teal letter stickers so that it says 25th. And then I'm like, okay, I need more on this. Like this layout needs more. So I have these enamel dots, and I've had them for a while because they are backed on a 3x5 card, and I did that years and years and years ago. Don't do it anymore. I just leave it on the original packaging backing now. So I do use them all up, so that makes me excited. It's always good. It always feels good to use up all of something. Like, it just makes me happy because that means I get to go buy more. So now I am looking at this, and I think I'm going to be finished. This is where I'm like, ooh, yeah, I forgot about that. It doesn't look good anywhere else. So I tap down the edges with a little bit of glue, and then that is going to do it for this layout, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out Vicky over on Instagram, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.